Okay, we're live. Hello, welcome. Apologies for the delay. We've had some technical difficulties. I'm having speaking difficulties today. I hope everyone is good and having a good Easter long weekend. Right, where did we leave off? The party having finished Bupido and his animated rotten red dragon headed onwards, battered and bruised and bloodied, to the intricate requiem where Tink wanted to check on Galvan, who they'd agreed to help leave the city before Victor returned. Upon investigation, they found a strange brass and bronze steel defender, but with some organic parts, that of some sort of dragonborn or lizard creature. They weren't sure. I surmised this creature was in some way sentient, but unfortunately it had no control over its body and responded only to commands. Upon further investigation, they found Victor locked up in a cell, claiming that Galvan actually was the one that should not be trusted. And he revealed to Tink that he knew who she was. She was Orphane, his friend. And if they freed him, he would help the group, he would help the party. And I think that's where we left off. Is there anything anyone would like to add? I'm not going to make it too complex, but Victor was let out of the cage. What would you like to do?
Didn't he agree to give us a few helpful items for releasing him? Or am I?
He did. And he will start rummaging through this, through crates and desks and drawers. Although it looks quite organised and quite tidy, as soon as he opens the cupboards and opens the drawers, you can just see stacks and piles of bits and pieces and bottles and potions. He will indeed place 3 red potions on the morgue table. Greater healing, as promised. And he wanders off again, starts rummaging through a crate and pulls out a sort of metallic looking rod, probably about 18 inches long. It's probably a bit longer than that, with a button on each end, and he will put that on the table. Agreed, as agreed. And again, he will start rummaging through a toolbox and will take out this weird, it just looks like a handle with a metallic hand attached to it, and he will place that down on the table as well.
This is quite an interesting collection of items you've handing over to us.
Well, that was the deal. I said I had some things. I would give Rain this toolkit. I would give you some potions to help you. You do look quite wounded.
Yes, I'm a little bit sickly. And then I nearly said Atreus. Trojan will pick up that metallic rod with the buttons on either end, and he'll look at it for a while, and then he'll go press one of the buttons on one end. He's like, "Is this an immovable rod?"
Yeah, locks in place.
Like, this is fascinating. I've been wanting to make one of these for a while. And then he'll just press the button and put it to unlock it, and then put it back on the table.
Yeah, well, I've got a few of them around. I can spare one. They're handy for hanging heavy things from. I think it will hang quite a good weight, 500 pounds or more.
Well, that's very generous of you. Thank you. And what's the strange rod with the hand on it, by chance?
That is a universal tool. For those skilled with Tinker's tools, it can mimic any tool that you desire. Oh, it's £8,000. That's quite a lot. Rain will know how to use it.
Very well.
It's an early prototype. It's not the one I know she has her eye on, but it will help, and it has a rather useful feature, I feel. And he will pick it up and hold it, and then sort of point it towards a table about 10 feet away, and you'll just see it sort of elongate in the hand, grab a bottle off the table, and then it only has a range of about 10 feet, 15 feet, if depending on how tall you are. But it's useful if you don't want to set the trap off, or you want to grab something across a gap. It's handy, and he will throw it to Rain.
It's quite a interesting collection of inventions you've made. But is there anything else we wanted to do whilst we were here? I know Tink was hoping to find a bit of information.
I'll hold out the tome, and find the images of the. I need to open it up, but the images that we found in there, and I'll ask.
Yeah.
What they are.
It is the soul weaver heart. It is what I built for you to reconstruct your soul. It should gather the pieces of your soul. They are spread wide and far across the Underdark. I am sorry. Unfortunately, you need to be cautious. The dwarf soul that is within you, it was supposed to be the glue to draw the rest of you in, as it were. And then when it was all over, I could have freed the dwarf and brought her back, but unfortunately, the first time you tried to use it, and he gestures around the walls high up, and now you can see these scorch marks all the way around the room in here. This is why Gogo is like this. This is why Galvan is like he is.
Galvan's broken too.
Yeah, well, Galvan is not here today. I am.
You're also Galvan?
Galvan is in... As the dwarf is attached to you, Galvan is attached to me. Some days when I am not strong, he takes control. Other days when I am strong, I take control.
But we saw Galvan. He has a separate body to you.
No, he doesn't. You'll see him reach up and he's got these weird bulging mechanical device sticking out the side of his helmet, and he will push something and you'll hear it click, almost like a dial on a safe, and you'll hear it go, and then suddenly it's like you'll just see his image completely change, and suddenly he looks like a young Duergar, no beard, clean shaven, same mechanical hand and mechanical legs. Did he look like this?
Oh wow, you were messed up.
Yeah, well, he can look like any of you that he's about the same size as.
So you could not help us if he ends up taking control for good.
That's why I want to help you. If I can help you, I can help myself.
This is starting to make more sense.
Is it? You remember me?
No, the fact that all of this helps you.
Yeah, well, nothing is free in life, is it? Look, your soul was in 7 pieces, and we found only 1. The rest of them are out there. And when you get close, you will feel it.
Oh, how does a soul break? Because of this machine, or what happened before then?
There was an explosion. The device was a prototype and was trying to help the dwarf, and it did not work. Far from it. It detonated. And it shattered you, shattered me, and go. Yes.
Okay. So you made me like this, but the only way I can not be like this is to work with you.
Well, the sad thing is, if you remembered, you were quite clever. You could have figured it out.
Still quite clever.
Yes, but it's like you have no foundation anymore.
How did I know you? Did I come to you for help? You said we were friends. Why would a fairy and a Duergar be friends?
Yes, well, where is your other friend? He knows where you're from. The elf. You didn't think he was a drow, did you?
Sevatar?
Yeah.
Where is Sevatar?
Sevatar's still up by the entrance keeping guard.
He's just guarding, yeah.
Along with Malice.
We have no Steve this evening. He's busy with the weekend, but you're not a fairy. Well, you are of sorts, but you're not from the Feywild or Fane. You're from the other place. The darker place.
Doesn't make sense. You don't get fairies in the Shadowfell, do you?
You're not a fairy. Same as your friend is not a fairy. As you regain your pieces, you will perhaps regain your form.
Then where did this body come from?
The body is yours. You are not your full power. You're the creatures of the Feywild and of the Shadowfell. They are their physical form is a reflection of their soul, and your soul is small and incomplete. So you are small and incomplete. Do you wish to sit? You all look very, very badly injured. I hope that you trust me now. If, let's be frank, other than Tink, you all look pretty badly beaten. If I was going to betray you, now would be the time to do it, right? I think I could take you all.
So if we leave you here to keep working, you can help me, you can help Go. Can you help Yazva if we find her?
Yazva. I would I'm not sure I would help her.
Could you elaborate a little further?
I don't trust her. I think she was sent here from Menzo Baranzan to spy on us.
She's supposed to have a particular role in protecting and helping people. I can't. And at this moment, it's been so long I've had to talk about it. I can't remember what her profession is called.
And spy or not, she didn't come here a Hukora.
No, well, that was another unfortunate side effect of the explosion.
Yeah, you need to stop calling it side effect. It's a mistake. You've messed up people's lives.
Well, mistake is a strong word. In the right circumstances, that would be a very desirable effect, no? To remove the soul from the body, to shatter it, It was unintended. A undocumented feature, I think they call it.
You are unbelievable.
Yeah. This is science. The worlds of magic and science collide, and yes, sometimes things go wrong, but that is where we learn our largest lessons. When things go wrong. And I will fix you. I miss my friend. You are she was never this emotional. She was driven and purposeful and
Hey, guess what? Being driven is an emotion.
yeah, well, perhaps you need the others back, right? I need to show you something because if you trust me enough, and he will pull out like a tall stool and place it next to the table and pat it. Sit.
I'll sit.
Just bare your collarbone here. You know you have the implant. Just open your coat.
I'll do what he says.
And anyone else that's looking, you will see that there's an area in the upper chest and the neck which is mechanical. You can see it's kind of merged with the flesh, but there's like from the collarbone and slightly up the neck, there's this sort of mechanical structure. Some of it is underneath the skin, but some of it is actually showing. And he will point at your collarbone and just say, press hard with 3 fingers there.
I will do that. This feels like I'm opening an iPhone to put SIM card in.
Yeah, you basically are. You will suddenly just see this sort of panel open in your upper chest, and as you look down, you can indeed see this strange pulsing with a sort of light red energy. This clockwork heart-shaped device. This is the Soul Weaver heart. It is what will bring the pieces of you back. If you are near them, it will begin. You will feel it. You will feel the presence of the missing pieces of your soul. But it has the dwarf soul attached to it. If ever you need, if your life is at risk and there is no other option, you may open your chest and press where the red light comes from, and it will detonate the soul of the dwarf or whoever you have in there.
And I just let her go?
I mean, if you want, but if you let her go, then you stay broken.
So I need her to get the other bits of me.
Yeah, her, anyone really.
Anyone. So I could let her go because she does not seem happy. As long as there's a soul in there.
Yeah, so it's fine. It's the fuel for the machine.
Right. Fuel. Can we put her back in her body? We have her body.
I mean, I can't, but the cleric could, yes. But not until you let her go.
Right. So it's not a case of... Okay. Okay. Like a tiny weapon.
You're like a tiny bomb.
Hmm.
But if you ever do use it, don't use it near your friends. Unless you don't like them. Right, I'll get you some food. Sit down, everyone, rest. And he will shuffle off into the next room and leave you on your own for a minute.
I will just sit there with my heart out.
Yeah. After probably about a minute, it will like close back up again on its own. Sorry, I was looking for a picture of it, but
You okay there, Tink?
No, let's go with no.
Yeah.
Malice, you're a cleric. What do we do about this dwarf inside me? Do I just let her go? Can you talk to her somehow? Find out what she wants? I don't know what to do with her.
Well, it depends on how much you feel that you are her.
The whole reason I came here is because everyone told me I was her and I didn't feel like her at all.
Well, let me check this random list of spells I have written down that I know nothing about. I mean, I could talk to Dad or speak with Dad. So I could, if you thought it useful, to ask 5 questions. The only issue is it doesn't talk to the soul.
It talks to the body.
Yes.
Well, we have her body back of the ship.
But is the here is the thing. The body is a construction. It is flesh and bone and muscle, and it moves as it is commanded. It is not who the person is. And it seems that you care more for the soul in this instance than the body itself. Now, if the body misses the soul, it may ask for it back. But we don't know that will be the case.
What happens to the soul after someone dies? If she was a follower of a deity, would it be with them?
It depends on what they believe and whether what they believe is correct. We know that gods exist. That isn't the question. I think it is more to do with how correct those gods are, how much power they hold. But it is the soul's right to move on as it wishes and as it chooses. The person you talk of is dead. They've been dead for some time now. They are just an energy source. I do think that releasing it would be a fairer end. But ultimately, it's not really our decision, it is that of the soul.
I feel like they didn't have a choice. So what happened? The dwarf's mother came here, wanted Victor to help bring her daughter back. I guess she wasn't given a choice then either. The dwarf, the mother took me thinking she was in me, which she kind of was, but wasn't, and I knew that was always not right, so I came back here.
Let me ask you this. How much do you care for the mother?
Care? Not very much. That sounds cold, but I felt nothing towards her. But I feel carrying a child, in a way, around. I owe her something.
But what do you owe her? This was... Tink, it appears that you're as much a victim in this as she was. This was not your choice. A child does not owe its life to its parents. They did not ask for their existence. They can only make of their existence what they want to when they are living. She is dead, and I do believe she should be allowed to pass on. And you should be the master of your own fate.
I appreciate that advice, and I think I agree. I know it's not quite the same, but if you have the capacity when we get back to the boat, I would like to speak with the body before I let her go, if that's okay.
I would be able to do that after a rest. At the moment, I'm rather spent, but yes, we can do that.
Thank you.
Or actually, above table. How many days is it since we took the bodies?
I think it is. It's probably 3 days.
Will speak with dead work on them if they're currently under gentle repose? So it won't work. So it protects them from decay and they can't become undead. But speak with dead, they're still just dead, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay, so that should be fine. That shouldn't affect it. Okay.
Yes,
carry on. I was just going to ask if it's not particularly intrusive or anything either. If Malice has that ability, I wouldn't mind asking a question or two of Yasfa's remains.
I cannot do this very often. It will need to either be the only thing that we do that day, talk to both of them, or we talk to them separately.
I'm fine to talk to them separately. We'll be leaving soon. We can do it whilst we're traveling.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's been with me for 2 years. It's fine to wait a couple of days.
And the bodies at the moment are safe from any further decomposition or any issues like that. So we've got time to plan this out and to make sure that we have set straight what we want to know. There are limitations in what I can do. You may only ask them 5 questions. You need to be very careful about the wording of those questions. So between now and when we perform our ritual, I want you to both think very carefully of what you would want to know.
Okay. That's good to know, thank you.
Also, can I please just check that you speak the languages that they speak?
Dwarvish, yes. Although she seems to speak common as well, so.
And you, Drodin?
I speak common and undercommon, so.
And I speak Elvish as well, just in case. Okay. We are supposed to be meeting with a king.
Yes. I'm
Oh.
sorry. This was a longer stop than I expected.
I may have forgotten about meeting the king.
Where's Victor?
He will come back out of the room and place a large sort of plate of, it looks like bread. It's like blue bread, some sort of mushroom jerky, some strips of meat jerky as well, some weird little mushrooms that are in some sort of oil, and he would just put it all down on the table. Eat.
Can I sniff it first and just look and check that it doesn't seem tampered with?
Sure. Yeah. How do you want to? What are you looking for? Poison.
Yes.
Okay. What would you roll for that?
Investigation or medicine?
I would say medicine, probably.
I've not got good medicine for a cleric.
Oh, well, you can do investigation if you want, but I would say you probably need to taste something to.
Yeah, I am not good at medicine.
It looks fine. You recognise the blue bread. It's made from a blue mushroom, which is ground up. The jerky looks kind of ordinary. The little tiny mushrooms in oil, they're kind of similar to olives. They've got quite a salty taste, but no stone, obviously, because it's a mushroom. Doesn't smell like poison. Doesn't look like there's anything on it that you wouldn't expect, but.
Yeah, I don't know any better. I'll eat it.
So clearly just trusting in the rules of hospitality, just eat some. Thank you very much. It's very kind. And feeds a couple to Ambrose.
Okay, Malice and Serdi, you get whatever your hit dice is, you get a full hit dice plus your con save back in hit points. It's very good. Doesn't taste particularly amazing, but as it hits your stomach, you just feel this warmth spread through your body.
So what was that? My hit point plus my con ability.
Whatever your hit dice is, yeah. You will get the maximum of that. So if it's a D8, you'll get 8 plus whatever your con modifier is.
Oh, I get 9.
There you go. And you would instantly, those watching would see as Serdi and Malice eat this, you will see some of their wounds closing up and some of their bruises fading away. Well, did you expect me to poison you?
Well, yes.
Oh. Well.
Now, come on, eat up the rest of you. We do need to get moving.
We do.
We've managed to keep in good stead in this town, and we don't want to mess it up at this point. Especially with people looking for us.
Serdi, are you, having heard all this, I know you were concerned about... We've been calling him Go-Go. I don't know if that's the name. But it looks like Victor will be able to help them eventually.
As long as I'm starting to... Apologies, Victor, but it was hard to trust you when we first met you, but I think I believe you'll help Go-Go. That's all I'm interested in here. Will you help him?
That is my intention. Go-Go is far more useful with his mind than as this. No offense, friend, but you're a shadow. You'll see the little eyes in this sort of reptilian head moving around, but again, there's no movement in the mouth or expression or body.
Well, I think I asked last time if you make any discoveries, or indeed if we do. We're planning to look for this library. You said there was a way we could contact you, or you could contact us.
Yes. And he will start rummaging in drawers again. Where are they?
You really need to tidy up or have someone organize this place.
That's what Gogo did. And he will rummage through, and you'll see he'll get out a little wooden box. It's made from zirk wood. He'll open it, and inside you can see probably 6 or 7 metallic blue scarabs, but they're not insects. They look like someone's carved them, or they've been made. They almost look like an ornament. And he will take 3 of them out and drop them on the table. This can carry a message. As long as you're within 100, 200 miles. I've not tested the range on them, as I'm sure you'll appreciate. And so you have 3, I have 3. I can reply to you with these. Maybe I can make more. This was really Gogo's department. I
could try and make a few for us as well, potentially.
If you can copy them, you're very welcome. I don't have any legal claims to my design.
You should probably look into that too. Thank you. And yeah, we really need to go. One last question. How do I know when I'm near a piece of my soul? Is there any way? Does this thing inside me go like ding, 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 ding or something? Or
you will feel your heart rate increase. It will be like a drum in your chest.
Okay.
And if you open it, you should see a glow. The color should change from red to whatever color the piece of your soul is.
Have you had any of those feelings before?
I don't think I have I, DM? No.
Well, at least that's reassuring that we don't have to revisit where we've been already. Onwards and maybe upwards then.
Yes.
The last thing we would need is to have to go all the way back to Velkenvelve.
Well, thank you, I guess. We'll see you again.
I'm sure you will. And if I don't answer, your message probably went to Galvan.
Will he reply eventually? Well, will you reply eventually?
I don't know.
Oh, great.
Will you even be aware of our message if Galvan receives it?
Only if he tells me.
Okay. Good luck working with that.
Well, I'm going to start working on these cells and hide a means to unlock them from the inside, so Galvan doesn't know.
It's a smart decision.
If that is everything,
Yeah, we've got kings to meet.
Rain will definitely pick up her item before she leaves.
yeah, I've put it in your bag. It is effectively a +1 tinker tool, but it also has the function that it can be. It's like a very short range mage hand of about 10 foot, but it's on a mechanical arm. It's not. You might take some practice. You might need to improve it slightly. At the moment, it can kind of press buttons, pick something up, or it can't do anything intricate. But it.
Okay.
But it's definitely it definitely could be useful.
Nice. So if it's a +1 tinker tool, how does that interact with my spells?
I don't think it at the moment it doesn't interact with your spells. It just interacts with any rolls you make for any of your abilities.
Cool.
But over time it will improve.
Okay, cool.
Hang on,
just because I usually cast my spells through my pistol.
Oh, sorry, it's a +1 spell focus. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, it's a +1 spell focus, right? Okay,
Yeah,
so yeah. Okay, interesting to know. So, yeah. Thank you.
You can probably attach it to your pistol if you want.
Yeah, should try to do something like that so I just can use it. Yeah, or a pistol. Cool.
Is anyone particularly interested in the immovable rod that we were given?
I'm not particularly.
It doesn't
you
need
can find good
to
use
be
for it, but if you wanted it, then you're more welcome to keep it.
You don't need to attune with it, so you can pass it around as you need.
I was going to say I can probably get it to places you can't, but I don't particularly want to carry it if it's too heavy.
I would also say that there is a cursed doll that we want to keep in one place.
Cursed doll.
Yes. Do you want a cursed doll? Do you want to put a soul in it and send it off into the world?
Not really. If it's cursed, it probably already has a soul, but not the good kind. Like the demonic kind.
That's actually quite an interesting option.
If you were to release the dwarf's soul, Tink, could you potentially onboard the doll's soul?
Does the quality of the soul impact Tink's well-being? Is I think what we really should be asking.
No, I don't think so.
And what about her personality?
Well, she is
herself, hopefully.
Well, she's not herself at the moment, but yeah, she may find characteristics of the soul she has on board may rub off on her, may affect her for a time.
Doll, it's fine.
I
don't need Tink to be any more aggressive.
No, I want the doll soul.
No, you don't.
I do.
If you want it, we'll figure it out.
I know how to do it now. Matt's taught me.
Oh, we don't
We
need
just have
Tink.
to kill the doll.
We don't need Tink turning into a rogue or a barbarian, stabbing all of us in our sleep.
It wouldn't work like that. It could. But it's not a rule. Anyway.
Where am I putting the rod, and who's having the healing potions?
I will take Elrod.
Okay. And the healing potions obviously can go wherever you want as well. Who's?
I suppose there's near enough one each.
Well, there's 3.
Yeah.
Oh, there's 3. I thought he said there was 5.
What if I gave him to my fox, and then she could come over to you, and then you could just pick it up from her?
Malice is pointing at herself, and I'm.
I want one.
One fox, one Malice.
I think Malice should probably have 2. She's capable of getting all of us up, but.
Yeah, so 2 for me in case I'm low, and then 1 for the fox in case it needs to get me up. Can we add an attachment to the fox where it can like dispense it, so it can we can
Say it
just use the
properly.
fox to vomit onto me?
Oh, I was going to say spat.
Like
No, that is a different. That was a definite mouth gesture.
It's gonna have a little barrel round its neck, like a St. Bernard.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that idea.
Okay. Yeah, I've dished those out then.
Godin is one step closer to being Snitch. They both have the same magic item.
One more question.
Is that the reason you wanted it? Is that the only reason?
I do genuinely fucking love immovable rods, but also kind of a little bit yes.
Okay.
Matt, quick question. Do I need to attune to this Tinker's tool?
Yes, ideally, yes. You don't need to attune to use the grabber function or to use it as Tinker tools, but to get the spell focus, you need to attune.
Cool.
So you don't have to.
Whilst we're here, sorry. I just had a thought. Whilst we're here, can we pick up any, like, some spare scrap metal or something, just in case bits of me explode?
Yeah, I can try to pay you. If you've got any of old designs of Tink here, and we can use them to heal her in the future or repair her.
What kind of thing are you after?
Oh, designed her, so the more I know about how she works, the better I'll be able to fix her.
I think she already has the book, so you could. Yeah, most of the enhancements.
Do you have a cipher so we can read this book?
You want to read it? Yes. Hang on. And he starts going through drawers again. You're not going to give this to anyone else, are you?
No, they can take it off my dead body, but otherwise, no.
Okay, well, don't destroy it. Don't let anyone have this. And he will take a little pair of spectacles out of a drawer and just hand you them. They're like little half-moon ones that go on the tip of your nose.
I put them on and I age about 50 years.
Yeah, and you can read what it says all of a sudden.
Nice. And I'll show Rain. All I was really worried about is sometimes I take my arm off and it goes and does things. So if it doesn't come back for whatever reason, some bits of metal that we have spare lying around.
Be able to. Rain is quite skilled. Could easily repair your limbs if they go rogue. I've not known them do that. I don't know what you're doing. If your limbs are running off on their own, then something's amiss.
Oh, I'll show him my mage hand.
Okay, that's new. I didn't make it to do that.
Well, we don't have any more time to sit around and learn about why that's happened. So, you think about it. We're off to meet a king.
Good luck. You might want to clean your clothes up. They're a bit shitty.
And I need to drop. And I need to drop zombie Papido off at the boat.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's going to be no faffing around like we did for like a fucking half a session in Curse of Strahd going, does anyone have prestidigitation? And then Rictavia had to come over and go, I'll do it.
One of the most powerful characters in Curse of Strahd giving you a bath.
Yep.
Hey, everyone's got to have their kinks. To the ship.
To the ship.
Okay. Yeah, you head back to the ship with your jerky sort of, hi Davey, how you doing? Staggering Bupido corpse sort of following you along. I think Rain was putting an illusion of a face in front of it so that it didn't look quite so dead. Yeah, you get back to the ship. All seems well.
It randomly shouts, drink back.
He does, I forgot about that. Arse! Drink! Girls! His father Jack, a zombie.
I think that seems about right for him.
What would you like to do?
Can we ask? So Eldith returned to the ship, didn't she?
She did.
Has there been any word
Of
anything? Anything from the king? Anything of other drow? Anything of Galvin?
There was 500 gold delivered for some reason.
Oh, we've probably done something at some point.
Aye, so much cash turns up now, I don't bother to ask anymore.
I'm adding it to the funds.
No, our little Darrow friend, I have I thought I would get him to have a look round and see if them drow are anywhere to be seen. I had a bit of a scout of the inn as well. Whatever they were doing, they've gone.
And then have we heard anything of Galvin? Galvin? Galver? Javert! I can't remember his name.
No, we haven't.
Okay.
We understand why now.
But do we want to recall the fellows that we sent off to acquire him? Should we do that as we pass by? Or also, can I go have a little chat with Stall? I just want to check in with him, make sure he's okay. And I'm going to leave Babido on the top deck for this, so I can pre-warn Stall that the zombified remains of his murderer are upstairs, but I am more than happy for him to use it as stabbing practice as he sees fit and when he's ready. But if he doesn't want to see it, he doesn't have to, and it can go overboard if he wants. It's completely up to him. He was the victim in this instance, and I want to make sure that he is comfortable with whatever way he wants to work through this.
Okay. Yeah. He will look a little bit taken aback when he sees Papido. He will, as you approach, he will backing off.
Stairs, and I'll go talk to Stall separately. I'm not going to just rock up with Papido.
Okay.
Because if someone murdered me so viciously and then showed up, I'd stab him in the knee, no problem.
Sure,
and yes, Jim, it'd be the knee because that's all I can reach.
I wasn't saying anything.
Okay, yeah, Stall is stood there.
Mother Malice, hello.
Hi. So there's been a bit of an altercation.
I didn't do it.
No, I know you didn't. But when myself and the others were off the ship, we did a bit of exploring. We stumbled on someone that we used to know, someone from your past as well. Do you remember the man that hurt you?
Yeah.
Well, he's now dead. He is ready to become. Well, he's a softer, so he can be food. You can whatever you want him to be, I currently have control of him, so he can't and won't hurt you. I wanted to see what you wanted to do about it. Are you happy for him to just pass on and for his body to return to the earth? Would you like to stab him a few times? That's also an option. Do you want us to tie his remains to the front of the ship as a warning to others? It's completely up to you, and I can give you time to think about it. You don't have to answer now.
You okay?
Not really. There's been a lot going on, and in a short amount of time, well, we've escaped from a prison, I've been tortured, and we've run for our lives, and we've witnessed demons and all kinds of things, and I worry that all of that has been rubbing off on you, and I feel somewhat guilty for it. And
Do you want me to shiv him?
Well, it's not about what I want, it's about what you want. I just want to make sure that you're okay.
I don't want you to be sad. If you need me to shiv him, I will.
Now that he is dead, what do you want to happen to his body?
Doesn't matter now he's dead. He can just be fertilizer.
I'm so proud of you.
Why?
He's only a symbol now. Do you want... Shall we give him to the land or shall we give him to the water?
To the land.
Okay.
Water's rubbish.
Yes, but it does feed the land. It's all part of the cycle. Okay, well, we have some business to do. So what I will do is I will unanimate him and we'll put him away so you don't have to see him. And then when we finish our business in this town and we leave, we'll find a spot to return him to the land where no one will be able to bring him back in any way. Does that seem okay?
Yeah.
Dawn?
You don't want me to shiv him then?
No, I don't. I thought you might want to, as you've seemed quite interested in the process recently, but if you don't want to, I'm definitely not going to make you, and I would prefer it if you didn't, actually. I just thought I'd give you the option.
He's dead though. It does shivs only hurt when you're alive. He shivved me with a big sword, and it did hurt a lot.
I know. And that's why I wanted to give you the option, but if you don't think it will help you, you don't have to do it, and I don't want you to feel any pressure to hurt anyone at any point.
Okay.
And I will do my best to take better care of you from now on.
You take good care of me for a softer.
We can all do better.
So we're going home now?
Soon. We have a little bit of business to finish, and then we'll be off, and we'll have a word with the others and see how soon we can head to Neverlight Grove.
I can't wait to show you Neverlight Grove. It's the best place ever. Like, there's like mushrooms that are like 20 darendils, 40, 50 darendils, all on end, and there's lots of lights, and it's very peaceful, and there's water that comes from the walls and like flows down and makes a nice sound. and all my family are there. And you'll like it. It's the best. And there is this big, like big mushroom. It's like the biggest mushroom in all of the Underdark. It's like so big that you can only just see the top. That's how big it is, and I can show it to you.
And I look forward to it. Okay,
It's really big.
Go
Like,
play
I don't think you appreciate how big I mean.
Could you draw
It's
it
like
for
the
me?
biggest thing in the world, literally. It's like the biggest mushroom in all of existence, I'm pretty sure.
Well, I look forward to seeing it.
Okay, bye.
And he just sort of toddles off and starts drawing in the corner.
Good. And anyone who's on the deck will just notice that the pedo just drops.
Okay.
Just goes back to being a corpse.
There is a dead Darrow on the deck.
I think as Drotin is walking around on the ship as well, as he walks past Stool, he'll probably like pat him on the top of his cap and go, "Are you still practicing writing?"
Yeah, I already know how to write.
I learned to write. Took it from your head. I'm bored of it now. We don't write where we come from. It's easier just to see in each other's mind.
Yes, well,
Writing's like very slow.
Yes, not everybody appreciates their mind being probed, though. So continue to practice.
It's rude not to probe. You softers are weird. You take so long to say everything. Look, how long am I taking to say this? Because I'm saying it in your head. Whereas we could just merge and then it's all one.
Yes, but sometimes softers have subjects they don't want to talk about. They would rather they stayed private.
That's because your life is not lived right. You'll figure it out. Don't worry.
Being lectured by a mushroom. I will concede that perhaps we're not living correctly in some capacity.
It's not your fault.
And he will draw like a little stick man and a little mushroom person, and then he'll do a little circle inside the head of the person, and then a big circle inside the head of the mushroom.
It's just thought about how big your brains is. You're quite clever for how small your brain is.
I'll opt to take that as a compliment rather than somewhat insulting.
I don't know what insulting is.
Intrigued, but perhaps a discussion for another time.
You're right. I have to draw the biggest mushroom in all of the world right now. So if we're finished, I've got work to do. Okay, bye.
And he'll pick his papers up and wander off. Okay.
He's becoming quite a petulant little shit in his day.
Veronica's face. What's that? What are you doing?
Just enjoying it. It's like Matt trying to please stop role playing with the mushroom. Okay, bye. No. All we want is to role play with the mushroom.
It's fine. You can role play with the mushroom if you want.
Okay, hi.
Okay. Well, now you can have a short rest if anyone wants to.
I think we're short rest. I think we're just waiting for someone from the king to turn up.
Whilst we're waiting, should we take this opportunity to do something we've never done before and have just a round table conversation? and try to learn a little bit about each other. Because
Agreed.
in all of this time, since we've been escaping Vakenvelv, we've never stopped to actually have a conversation and figure out who we all are. Except for one time, which was very short-lived.
Yeah, and you all know too much about me now, so, yeah, that seems fair.
Pretty sure Malice is an open book.
Well,
not since she'll tell you, but you can pretty much guess.
Do you have kids back in Menzoberranzan or siblings? Because, like, you're really, really morbid, but... And it's really weird, the connection you've built up with a fungus. But, you seem like kind of a good mum. Like, this dwarf's mum that I was with for 2 years, she was overbearing, overprotective. I don't remember my mum, but I wouldn't want that. I don't know that I'd want what you've got going on either, but you're doing kind of a nice job.
I agree.
Well, in the way that I have... In my life so far, there's been very little resemblance of family. We don't much care for one another. Very competitive, and it's not really been for me.
Is that a drow thing, or just your family in particular?
I wouldn't know.
Let's ask the other drow. Drodin?
Hello? Are you about to ask me if I have any siblings?
Yeah. What was back in Menzoberranzan for you? What have you left?
My parents and my sisters. Though, admittedly, now that Stool has somewhat ousted the fact I lived in Gracklstugh for some time. Gauntlgrim, yes, I confused myself there. We've been here too long. I always considered Gauntlgrim, or Cusaloran, as Drow called it, that it was always more of my home. I never really got on with any of my family, really. So I was quite happy to be away from the city.
Is Gauntlgrim still somewhere you'd like to go back to and call home, even though it's now full of dwarves that probably wouldn't like you?
There is perhaps a slight hope of that, but I think given the current dwarven occupation, retiring to the surface, which was my end goal, I suppose, my retirement plan, was, well, it's more likely now. But if my home is still standing and unoccupied, it would be, I wouldn't mind going to take a look at it. Be a tiny bit awkward to knock on my old front door and disturb a dwarven family if they're inside.
Well, Eldith will vouch for you now.
So I may confess I am concerned that perhaps Eldith is living, and her family is living in my old home.
That would be ideal, wouldn't it?
Well, I'd rather nobody was living in my old home.
Well, it's unlikely, isn't it?
Incredibly. There are a number of other things as well that I am constantly in conflict about discussing with you all, but I think perhaps those would be better served for another time. Or at least a more comfortable and confident situation.
once we've had this chat and got to know each other a little better.
Perhaps, yes. Granted, you did save me from being eaten by a rather touchy red dragon.
I think, Jordan, I ain't never been comfortable and confident at the same time that I can remember. Or either of those two things most of the time, to be honest.
That doesn't surprise me. You seem frequently rather disjointed, Rain. Very anxious.
If you're going with a D, I'd say distracted. But yes.
Perhaps you need to smoke less of your cigarettes.
No, that helps. That brings the heart rate down, makes me focus. Otherwise, it's just too much going on.
Well, I believe Sir D is a little too distracted for us to inquire with him. What were you going to say, Tink?
I was going to ask Rain, I understand why you didn't want to be in Gracklstugh, but I don't quite understand why you want to go to the surface so much.
Well, I ain't had much luck down here. You know, I look like a Duergar, but I'm not quite because I'm really tall, and I've also got horns. Even though both my parents are Duergar, kind of look a bit like a tiefling, but not quite enough. And people have been most uncomfortable around me. So I reckon if I go to the surface, maybe in a big city, I'll draw less attention. And maybe I can work on my trade and make a shop for myself, and I just start a new life, turn a new leaf, as the surface dwellers say.
You'll find tieflings on the surface, but not so many Duergar.
No, Duergar are a very rare sight.
Yeah, I can pass for an albino tiefling. That's alright, ain't it?
Which are you, or do you not know?
I'm definitely Duergar, that basic physiology in my thing.
Well, word of advice for you, Rain. If you go to the surface anytime soon, I would advise you dress warmly. I believe we're largely into a region called the Icewind Dales, where we are at the moment. It's rather cold. As the name Icewind Dale would probably imply.
So you used to help people get out, so you know more than one way out?
I know a few, yes. If you give me just a moment, I will pull up. Check my spell book. I have a few pages written in the back about the exits. I know there is one in Gracklstugh, I believe. Gauntlgrim has one also. Mantle Dareth, although that they're not particularly forthcoming with their information, and there is also one in Menzo Branson, but that is usually quite guarded.
So if any of us wanted to go to the surface, we could technically go from here.
You could. I believe the king doesn't. Well, yes, the king and the Duergar that know about the exit, they're not usually keen to share the location of their exit.
Well, I suppose the question is, there are so many of us, does anyone want to go to the surface now? I've just learned that I have a soul that's been shattered across the Underdark, so I'll be down here for a while. But maybe Derendil? We don't really know where his home is, or...
My home is Nelrintenvane.
Which no idea where that is.
In the Great Forest. It's actually an island in the middle of the Great Forest. If we can get to the surface, I could take us there, and my father would pay a kingly reward because he's a king.
I think I've heard of the Great Forest.
Really?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure when Droden and I did some checks, we went, nope, never heard of that.
Well, I came here from the Shilmister Forest. It's yeah, I think I've heard of it. I've never been. I've only been to Shilmister myself.
Well, it's definitely real. I was born there.
Oh, I have no doubt. No doubt. So I feel I've heard of it. I've never heard of Nelrinden Bay, but I've heard of the Great Forest, certainly.
It's a relatively small kingdom, but it's beautiful. I would very much like to show you it one day, and I am sure as well, Rain, if you wish to own a business, then the elves of my home are very open to friends profiting from our hospitality, shall we say. You've all helped me, and I think we've become good friends. I like to think so. I hope you won't find me less useful when I'm an elf again. I mean, my sister is a great mage. I'm sure she could help you with all sorts of your problems. I'm almost certain, in fact, she would, including mine. You know, being this thing for whatever reason. Sorry, I'm rambling.
If you just added some more in, you would sound like Hugh Grant.
Really?
I don't know. I don't know this Hugh Grant.
Who is this Hugh Grant?
Sorry, he's a famous rogue who was Lord of Neverwinter for some time.
You're doing it now.
He was a famous rogue who was Lord of Neverwinter.
Okay. Never heard of him.
Darendil?
Yes.
What exactly, if you don't mind me asking, and I do apologise for any offence caused, but what exactly is the affliction that you are suffering from?
I mean, I'm very admire that as a drow you no longer see species and you just see me as Darendil, but I don't know if you've noticed, I look like a Quaggoth.
And how did... I understand that is not who you are, but how did that happen?
I don't really remember. I was at home. I was reading a book, enjoying the view out of the window. Next thing I know, I'm in a prison cell with you all. Yeah, it's very strange.
Does your body feel natural to you?
I mean, it feels more natural the longer I'm in it, but
it didn't to begin with.
No, I mean the legs. I mean, look, my legs bend the wrong way. That took some getting used to, I can tell you. I mean, you didn't get put in the cell for a few days. I was falling over all over the place.
No, I understand how that must be.
Backward knees, I mean, whoever thought of that? I mean, now I've used them for a while. They're actually quite quick. I can move quite a speed, quite a lot quicker than I could as an elf, but still.
I must say, you make a very good Kragoth.
I'm sad to hear that because I mean.
No, I'm sure you've made a wonderful elf as well, but you have saved us on many an occasion.
I know, but I've had to wear these shorts for weeks now. You know, I'd like a nice blouse and a fine coat and a hat. and all of those things.
We
Instead
have
of
just been paid. We can
do that, yeah.
the first few weeks I pretty much had all my bits out.
Eldith, if
Luckily,
I
I'm
give you
hairy.
10 gold, can you take him to a tailor whilst we're seeing the king?
I don't see why not.
I don't know why you have to be escorted. I just mean just on your own, with people that don't know that you're not actually a Quaggoth Derendil, you can be a bit intimidating.
Well,
So
yes,
if Eldith goes with you.
Most Quaggoths are as thick as two short planks, as they say. So it's not their fault. But no, I would appreciate it. Honestly, I will repay you tenfold. But yeah, I very much would like a hat.
I guess what I was trying to get to was, we know where certain people want to go. So where would be next? And who can we drop off? Who can we get home first?
I would say that out of all of us, Stool is very adamant as to where he wants to go, and I must admit I am very interested to see it.
And it's nearby, isn't it? I guess I'm asking who knows the land.
We don't know much. Let me find my little map that randomly I got. That doesn't show much.
I might ask Hemeth as well.
Yeah, I will draw some things on the map. You might not be able to see them actually.
No, we can only see two little bricks of the explored Underdark.
That's where you've been, and it's quite.
And I did. I got given at the very start a map of the lake, which I do think we're all given, but I now can't remember exactly where it is in all of this.
I remember that.
Hey, let me have a look. It'll be
in
there somewhere.
Matthew,
I've got travel times.
Can you unpause the game for a second?
Not if you're gonna wander the token round, no.
I just wanted to connect it to the places we've already been, so it's just not two random splotches, because it bugs me.
Oh, it's not splotches on for me. Weirdly.
Oh, perfect. Thank you, sir.
So, from Gracklstugh, by way of land, I believe these travel times are. Valkenfeld would be 28 days. Slubledoob would be 20, but Neverlight Grove would only be 12. It appears to be the nearest place, and I do feel so guilty for what we've dragged Stool through. I feel it would be best for him to be back with his own kind and looked after in a safer environment.
Are you prepared to part with him, though?
Oh, well, we'll see. I may not need to.
What does that mean?
Well, he talks about the connection that they all have, and I wonder if there's a way to be part of that. But also, there's so much there that I'd be interested in. The level of decomposition that they must witness in just the environment that they live in. There's so much raw data to collect. It would be amazing to be part of that. To know more. Be part of something bigger.
You were so very strange. I have no issue going to Neverlight Grove, as I now want to see as much of the Underdark as possible, and if it is closest.
I don't know exactly what it will be by vote, but we managed to get here from Slubledoob at a far shorter time frame than I believe would be expected by land. And now we're more capable. Our boat is in better condition. We have a full crew. Seems the safer option.
Are we all in agreement we want to go check out that underwater cavern first, though?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, I don't know where Liverlight Grove is. I'm sort of here following my nose, as it were, but didn't we want to go back and see that place we found in the obelisk?
Well, this takes us to you, Serdi. Where do you want to go? What is your personal goal? We all have an agenda of sorts.
Well, I'm here exploring. There's something going on here, and I don't understand it. I can smell something at hand, something untoward down here.
Mm.
As I said, I came from the forest above, and
So,
there's something going on down here I need to find out about. I don't know where to look, I don't know what it is, but I need to understand.
no, similar to me then, you want to stick around and basically investigate every nook and cranny.
For want of anything better, yes, until I find a lead. That is, I fear, where I am.
Drodin, you were talking about retirement, but not quite the immediate.
No, I'm only 150. I have a lot of years ahead of me yet.
Are you along for the ride, or are
May
you
as well.
going somewhere specific? Oh, also, do you think on our journey you have any idea where Yasva might be, if you want to find her, that is?
Well, that depends entirely on the conversations we have with her remains downstairs.
Understandable.
But yes, our little journeys will take us to Graven Hollow, which I continue to attest likely isn't real. But if it is a not insignificant library. And I am very intrigued with what's going on with the creature that attacked Sloop-Ladoob and this society of brilliance that we've encountered and all that. I'll be here for quite some time, I presume.
And if you want to go back to Gauntlgrim, we'll need to get Eldif there eventually. I'd like to go back to deliver the dwarf's body back to the mother if I can. Oh wait, she's in Waterdeep. How would I do that?
There is an exit to the surface in Gauntlgrim, which I believe wouldn't take us out
Too far away.
So Jim, you would probably know that Gauntlgrim is pretty much under Icewind Dale.
Yep.
And Gracklstugh is probably not far from Waterdeep, but it's probably still a trek.
Ugh, how do you courier a body?
Yes, that would be incredibly awkward. I think that's more Malice's domain than mine.
I can make it walk. I've gotten quite good at it.
Probably would not be a welcome sight for a parent.
But we wouldn't walk it straight up to its mother. I wonder, between what you can do and what Rain can do, maybe you could create some kind of containment system for it? You know, make big things small and so on and so forth.
Only I was a transmutation wizard, I could probably figure something out. A Vault of Amber or something.
Something more practical than transporting them around in a giant freezer.
But for now, that would work.
That feels like a lot of work when you say it out loud, but does that seem a fair goal to eventually get the dwarf's body back to her mother? That being said, I don't know if the mother is okay.
There's only one way to find out, and it'll have to wait. And also, whilst we are on the subject, Melis, I appreciate that you are intrigued with Neverlight Grove. I would likely be the same with Graven Hollow. It would be very hard for me to pull myself away from a method of infinite research, effectively, if the stories are true. But hopefully you will continue with us for a while. Neverlight Grove and like Graven Hollow doesn't disappear whenever it fancies, and I appreciate knowing I'm not the only drow aboard the ship.
Seems that you view drow more kindly than I do. But
Well,
of the drow that I've met, you are unlike any of them. It's very disconcerting.
well, not everyone spends their life scheming how to stab their associates in the back and get away with it.
That was not my entire life.
I always attempted to avoid such things when I could. That's why I was so easily pulled by Yasva into worshipping Aliestre. Also, the server appears to have gone down.
It's
Yeah.
fine. Just log back in. It's my fault. I was trying to get rid of the mouse pointers.
How dare you? I like to know when people are being nosy.
I also like to know when people are being nosy.
Equally, in its way, Rain, I know you're keen on going to the surface, but do you have any want to continue with us a little longer? I confess, I feel you're probably the best placed person to help me if a wing breaks or a similar thing happens to what Victor described, the whole my heart can explode sort of thing. It's all a bit, there's been a lot of information thrown at me very quickly.
Well, there's quite a lot to learn from you in it. And I guess got no one else. I can't go to the surface on my own. Probably gonna die if I try. So
Especially
you
if they
guys
send
are
you
right
up
with
there with
me.
a dwarf body, so...
Yeah. If I like help you guys out and like make stuff for you and try to keep your ship going and keep Think alive and all that, you guys be alright with some of my experiments and maybe using some of my funds to make cool items and stuff, and I can hang about if that's all right with you, and I'll just make things, and I'll be messy sometimes, but I'll promise I'll do my best to keep Tink alive. And
Have you done much work in the medium of bones?
of what?
Have you made much? How many things have you made with human remains? Well, the remains of creatures.
Not quite my area, but
Could
I
you
guess
maybe make additions to things that already exist? And you'll notice that she's holding this weird mask made out of a drow skull.
what you have in mind?
Well, I don't really know. It's just with what you've just said, I was wondering. At the moment, I just use it to help me concentrate when I'm trying to cast more powerful spells, and there might be additions that we can make. I was just wondering whether that would be something that maybe you'd be interested in.
Listen, so far in life, there ain't been a single problem I've been able to solve with enough time in mushrooms.
Well, we're going to
I
a
just
town
need.
full of mushrooms, and
Yeah.
we've got plenty of time.
Cool. I sometimes.
Oh, you carry on.
Oh, I just sometimes need something to get my mind going. You know, reach new places.
Yes, that doesn't make me feel any better. I was just about to ask about the potential. So I put into the contract with Victor that he would provide me with a surgery at a later date to improve a piece of my living conditions. I was entertaining the idea of asking you if you were somewhat capable of it, but your admittance to enjoying mind-altering mushrooms says, well, it's not exactly comforting.
Well, listen, if we're talking about like precise walk, this is not. You know, I use the right chemicals for the occasion. You know, so if we're just trying to think out of the box and adding weird shit to a dead mask, then that's mushroom time. You know, if we're just chilling, then that's more of a you know, some grass. And then if it's surgery, then thinking, you know, something a bit more uplifting.
I just think it
So
could be some fun experimentation, and if you're experimenting while experimenting, then
I think I would like to be experimented on whilst they're experimenting. I would like to continue having all functions of my appendages, regardless of how feeble they may be.
If something can help you out, man, I'll do my best.
Right. Well, if you think you may be able to figure out how to transplant an automated arm, I would appreciate it.
I can definitely move an automated arm from one thing to the other. Usually, none of the things are living. But I made this, and she pointed at the fox, and I was like nothing, and I was about and shit, so...
Vaguely concerning, but I'm willing to take the chance against my better judgment.
Sweet. We've got a deal then. I'll guess I'm traveling with you.
It's my left arm, for reference.
It's
Just
good
you don't
point.
give me two right arms.
Yeah, made that mistake before. You don't want to see earlier iterations of Tail. Wasn't good.
Are you okay, Tink? You look very confused.
You want an arm like mine?
I do. Mine's past its best, I suppose, is one way of phrasing it.
What's wrong with it?
He will very awkwardly kind of just like rub his hands together, and he'll take the moment to pull free like the glove that he wears over that, and he'll pull his sleeve back, and you'll see that his left arm is kind of like slightly atrophied. It's very gaunt. Some of the bones look a bit twisted, and there's a lot of like swirling scars that go all the way up his arm.
Malice is now very interested.
Perhaps may have been rather hasty when I was initially learning some of my magical skills, and a bad spell effectively nearly freed it from my arm. Fortunately, one of the gnomes that I was being supervised by in Blington Stone was able to rescue me before it freed every part of myself from the rest of myself, and I've been left with a rather decrepit and
Cool-looking arm. Wow.
It's not exactly my strong arm.
Do you need the new arm to be human shaped?
Ideally.
Just asking. What? Because I'm just running wild ideas, and I'm just like, like maybe a tentacle.
No, I would definitely prefer an arm.
Okay, arm it is.
Somatic components would be very difficult if I didn't have the appendage, the fingers to cast.
Does it need to have? Does it need flesh or give the illusion of flesh?
Would be quite satisfied with just a human-shaped brass contraption.
But maybe not one made of actual arm bones.
I mean, you could use my original arm as a base, but the bones are a tiny bit twisted.
I mean, we could sever it, and then once it is dead, I can reanimate it, and then we just need to attach it.
You could do tests on my arm. I mean, I don't want to lose any more of it than I have to, but this comes off already, so...
We could test it on Rapido. I could sever his arm and try to just animate the arm, and then see how we can figure out a link between the new owner and said arm.
As long as you don't give me Rapido's arm.
I would love to see a drow elf with a tiny little fairy arm. That would be marvelous. Darren Dale will sort of say.
True.
It would look good.
But for forms of experimentation and testing before the actual completed item, it'd be quite interesting.
Am I wrong, or did we all just become best friends? Look at us talking about like sewing on arms and starting new lives and rescuing mushrooms and taking mushrooms. In Rain's case, it feels like we just bonded.
After all of this, I'm still left with one question. Serdi, what in the world were you doing in those tunnels by yourself? You seem to be quite a sensible fellow, so I don't understand why you walked into what would have been your certain death.
One can sneak around from place to place. It's not necessarily certain death if you're not found.
Except you got stuck in between two walls and had to shout for help.
Weren't you massive?
I was. That was a mistake.
Picked a mushroom or something.
They ate the wrong sort of fungus. Yes. Mistakes were made. But the point was, there's something. I don't know. I don't really know why I'm here. There's something wrong here, and I'm trying to find out what it is. That's it. That really is it.
Telling you that though, do you follow a god, or is it just a feeling in your bones?
Yes, I mean it's my job. I mean my calling is to protect the boundaries of what's natural and what's not. And I mean, there's many things wrong in the Underdark, but most of them are here by intention. But there are things occurring here that aren't by intention, if that makes sense. I can't quite put my finger on it, but
Well, I have to say, Serdi, did we not tell you about the what was it called in Sloobladoop? I think they called it Limagugu, didn't they?
Bless you.
Yes, yes. Dankeschön.
Giant demonic.
Yeah, the big two-headed, tentacled bastard. Yes, it's huge.
No one
I think
has
it.
told me of this, but this sounds.
Sorry, slight oversight. Yeah. I forgot you weren't here. There was a big demon lord just like coming out of the water, all casual, and destroying a village.
Was it truly a demon lord? I don't know much outside of the drow faith.
I don't know, but it was big.
It was really, really big. Like dragon big, bigger than dragon big.
Yeah, it would probably kick the dragon's ass.
If that is what it was, then that is why I am here. Yes.
But why would you be here rather than there?
You don't want to go there.
I came from quite a way, so I've made my way through these tunnels as best I can, following my nose, as it were, and, well, I ended up where I ended up, but I'm trying to find out about it.
So, no offense, but what we saw was big, and you're quite diddy.
It definitely would have made you two-dimensional very quickly.
And no offense, Tink, but pointing out my size?
Just me, like, I ran. I didn't plan to fight it. You planned to fight it.
Well, no, I've planned to investigate it.
Oh, okay. And we'll come at it with a plan.
I'm not sure it's so much the thing that you investigate in
Do you think
person.
it's still there?
I don't know. I expect once it had wreaked as much havoc as it could cause, it would just go on with whatever it wants to do. Maybe we stay away from Sloopadoo from now on.
I mean, he said he wants to investigate. I mean, that surely would be where to investigate. Maybe it's left some tentacle prints for you to discern who it is, or
we could just find a library or someone who understands about demon lords, and that might be a safer option.
I mean, would someone here know about what's occurred in Sloobadoop? What is Sloobadoop?
It's a Kuatoa city that we were present in when it was attacked by a rather monstrous thing. But if we're looking for a library or someone knows about demon princes, Graven Hollow would likely have information. But also the Illithid we met on the shores with that kraken. I believe he had a few things of demon relation, though I could be mistaken.
This I would be interested in.
So you think they know what's going on? Or they're trying to find out as well?
They are. They may well have an idea. It was travelling with a group called the Society of Brilliance, or was part of that, which is a sector that has my interest to some degree. Based on the information that Tink had provided, we know they would likely be near that sunken tomb we wanted to investigate at the moment. Providing that's the same Illithid.
Well, let us away then, and we can investigate both the tomb and this Illithid.
Sounds like we have a plan. If only the king could summon us now.
Well, as luck would have it, one of the goblins comes down. Captain Tink, and he hands you a scroll that looks like it's been screwed up in a ball, and he holds it out. I was going to throw it, but I decided that you would rather open it in person.
That was the correct decision to make. Well done. And next time, this is excellent. This keeps it very secret, but it makes it a bit harder to read. So next time you might want to, and I'm going to demonstrate, just folding in half. And then maybe half again.
Fancy.
But very good job. I'll read it.
Sort of wanders off. It just says you are summoned for an audience with King Duergar Steel Shadow. I can't remember what he is. I think he's the 6th. There's so many of them.
It's king time.
Oh, it's the 5th. Duergar Steel Shadow the 5th.
Let's go. And Derendil, I expect you to look sharp when we get back.
I can make a paper hat for you in the meantime if you are so keen on hats.
Are you sure you don't want me with you? I am royalty, so I probably would be, diplomatic contact for Nelrindon Vane back home.
They wouldn't recognise you.
No, and I don't have a hat yet.
Maybe it's best that if the meeting goes well, we can introduce your name as our contact above and start to build relations that way. Through good deeds done.
Okay, yes.
Then
Brilliant.
once you've got the full outfit and the hat, and we know that we're in good relations with the king.
In the meantime, we may have someone who can represent a diplomatic role to some degree within our group.
Okay, and if there's any gold left, am I okay to get a manicure?
Yeah.
Good.
Of course.
These claws.
Haggoth with a manicure would be quite an interesting sight.
If I if I get nice clothes, I don't want to rip them open with my claws. So
a very good point.
I'll see you all shortly then.
Okay. Can I just check? We haven't actually had a long rest since we leveled up, have we?
Nope. I'm really sorry.
Okay. It's okay. It's fine. It's not a problem.
It is approaching sort of early evening now. If there was a clock, 5, 6 o'clock ish. Yeah. Are you preparing, or are you going azar? Are you?
We've been prestidigitated, but I don't think we can look any better.
Okay. Nice. Okay. No one guides you. You head to the hold of the Deep King. It's actually as you look across the city, you realise it's this prominent building. It is huge. It literally has lava flowing down the walls. You can see some of it coming through the ceiling, and then it's channeled with these rock channels, and it is quite an impressive sight. And as you approach the steps, huge steps, probably 50 steps going up, wide enough to march 50 people up into a huge stone arch. Again, it's very functional. It's not beautiful. There's no writing. There's no flourish. It is just functional and nothing more. There are no guards. There are no that you can see. There is no one stood there. As you begin to climb the steps, you hear the odd sort of cough. You hear the clank of chainmail, plate mail. You hear feet scuffling. You feel a sense of being watched. There are Duergar here. You just can't see them. You march up, and you see a lone Duergar guard. She's probably relatively young. She has a scar all the way across one eye, one of which is kind of swollen and sort of has been sewn shut and has healed. She's wearing plate mail. She's carrying a long spear and a shield, and I believe you are the party. Can I see your invitation?
I will enter the crumpled invitation.
Does your group have a name? How should I introduce you?
We haven't decided upon one yet.
We've never been asked this question before.
I'm sure the invitation should be enough. We've been requested. We are a group of people who have helped the town out. Do we need a name?
Named after the boat, but...
No, we don't want to be named after the boat.
Just a boat
name.
It's Drodin's ex-girlfriend.
Who might be a slave trader.
Who may have been a slave trader, it turns out.
So we might want to change the name of the boat.
I said this the last time we talked about this.
Yeah.
I could just introduce you as the adventurers. Does that work for you?
I would like a cool name.
A group name would be lovely, yes. But we don't have to figure it out now.
I can give you 5 minutes if you need it, but any longer, it's gonna be...
We could call ourselves Drodin's ex-girlfriend's crew then.
Oh, no. No, please.
I think that sounds good.
No.
Is it Drodin Vogoth versus the world? Is that the kind of thing we're going for? Got to fight his 7 evil exes. Or however many it was. I can't remember.
Plenty of vegans in the Underdark.
See, I've also sent you a sly little message asking a question.
Who? Me?
Yes.
Where have you sent it?
Over Messenger.
Okay. You know you can send messages on...
So I don't know how, and I'm paranoid about fucking them up.
Yeah, I've sending it public.
Oh, this is bothering me now. We're all sort of connected to death in a way.
Speak for yourself.
How about Quietus?
Hmm?
How about Quietus?
What's that?
Well, it's death.
I will be honest, I may have misheard you, so thinking you were talking about something much more debauch, so perhaps it's not the best name.
How about the SLPF?
What?
The Scaled Liberation People's Front.
That feels mostly appropriate to you. By that front, I may as well suggest that we call ourselves the Moon Dancers, because that was my role, or we should call ourselves the Mortuary Cult based on Malice.
I'm quite happy
I think a mortuary as a collective noun is quite a wonderful lexical construction.
The Mortuary of Adventurers. It's not the most optimistic noun.
But it is true. We are all going to die at some point. It's very realistic, and
quite fitting.
Yes, and
I almost have.
I've pretty much been dead today.
The Mortarian People's Front?
Will you stop trying to call something the People's Front? Also, whilst we're having this discussion, I would like to remind people that I am still currently dying because of Papido. So I would appreciate if we could maybe do this a little quicker.
Well, why have you not done anything to heal yourself?
I don't seem to be able to.
But you should have said when we were resting.
I thought it was evident by the fact I was not particularly mobile for quite a while when we got to the Requiem.
You were resting. That. 1 second. What freaking spells do I have? I will do a. What spells do I have? I don't have any good spells. Where's the? You're just better off dying, and then I can heal you.
a rather macabre.
Who here is still not particularly well?
I'm not
Just
great, but I don't
do
think
you
I
have a
can get.
potion?
I don't. I think it goes a bit beyond potions.
What kind of unwellness is it?
It's a continuous fatigue, and some of my wounds are refusing to close.
You kept cutting out, so I didn't hear a word of that.
I am perpetually fatigued, and some of my wounds won't close. My max hit points
Your
have been
hit
reduced.
points have been reduced. Oh, you just need to sleep then. That's all I can do. I don't know why I'm worrying.
I mean, I'm quite nervous about meeting the king. Does that count?
Are the Undertakers?
I don't terribly mind the Undertakers, to be quite frank.
Do we all get
Duergar,
hats?
I mean,
It inspires fear, but also we'll dispose of your body, right?
We'll make good use of it, or we'll at least go through the correct steps, depending on what people believe in. We'll come back to this right now. Let's just meet the king.
Are you ready?
Yeah,
Let's do
we're
this.
just the adventurers,
Honestly.
potentially the Undertakers at a future date. So if we turn up with that name, that let us in. But yeah, just Tink, Malice, Rain, Surdy, and Rodin.
Okay, very well. Just to make you aware, the sacred pool. I do not suggest you go near to it. That it will be obvious why. The king is tired, so keep it light. Try not to anger him. And yes, good luck. And she will lead you through this long, winding corridor. And as the darkness sort of settles and your eyes adjust, you see this orange glow off in the distance. And as you come through the tunnel and out into the hall, you see a huge square hall, a lava pit in the center. You can feel the heat as you step through. You can see a number of channels, one coming in to the pool and one going out. And at the far end, sat on a throne, is a elderly looking grey dwarf in insanely ornate armor. You can see all these spikes sticking off the shoulders. He's got a long grey beard that goes down to his knees, although he's sat on a throne. And just one single guard stood next to him. And then on the other side of him, you can see this this young woman, a dwarf, but she's not grey-skinned like the others. She's sort of kind of quite bronzed. Definitely a surface elf. She has black hair, brown eyes, and she's beautiful for a dwarf. She's absolutely beautiful. She's wearing a dress which, as you look, it's gold and it shimmers, and you see that it is entirely made of gold coins. The king sees you enter and he just raises a hand and gestures.
Costume is a tiny bit gaudy.
I can't see.
No, I can't see either.
You can't see. Okay.
We don't have tokens, I believe.
He's black.
Oh. I don't know
So
why
what-
that is. I must have never thought you would come here.
So he has his hand on Ambrose's head and he just looks at Ambrose and says, I'm not sure I like the sound of good luck.
I will say for the sake of everyone's safety, Rain's going to remain mostly quiet throughout the interaction, but she'll be paying close attention to like movement of weapons, kind of hostile stances and such, and maybe anything in the environment she can use to her favor, or anything that could be like a trap or something like that.
Yeah, okay. Can everyone see now?
Yes.
Yes, Tinkle.
Yes, looks great.
So is that a pit of molten lava in the middle?
It is a pit of molten lava.
It is pretty self-evident why we should not go near it.
Is there another sort of pit?
A pit full of snakes?
True.
Sorry, I've just realised I don't know why I haven't showed you the picture of the dwarf. I have got a picture of her and the king. Just 1 second. Where is it? Sorry, it's been a long time since I prepped this. I'll just be a sec. Sorry. Speak amongst yourselves. What do you want to do?
Did you prep this for the other Out of the Abyss group, and we never even bothered?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. You were just like, nope.
No.
You never did any of that stuff. You were just like, dragons, nope. Kings, nope. Just seems too dangerous. Gracklstugh went slightly differently for you guys, though.
Did that person outside explain who this woman was with the king?
Nope.
No, okay.
Okay, here you go.
They don't look particularly Duergar from the token, but that could just be the token. And that other Duergar looks very angry.
So that is her. Yeah, she's a dwarf, but she's clearly a surface dwarf. Very beautiful, and her dress must be worth 1,000 gold. That you can see. The king sort of looks up, and he just looks quite bored. And you are the adventurers, yes?
Yes, we've been assisting the captain with some incidents in your city, my lord. And I'll do a sweeping bow with my big hat.
Sadie will bow to Your Majesty Highness. Pleasure to meet you.
And the drow elves?
Rodin Vorgoth, and he'll give like a low nod.
My name is Malice, and there'll be like a little bow of the head.
And who is this Duergar woman behind you?
Rain, and this is my tail, my companion tail.
Intriguing. I would like to see this. Is it a device, a creature? What is it? Send it forward.
Rain will think for a moment and say, it's a device, remotely controlled. A bit closer.
I find it very hard to believe that such a strange group of adventurers have resolved the issues of the tunnels and returned our dragon egg so that we may call Timberchild.
Why do you find it strange, my lord?
You seem quite... You seem... Well, you don't look dangerous. And you'll see the young dwarf will sort of lean over and whisper something in his ear. You have done a great service to the city of Gracklstugh, and I thank you, which is why it pains me that I must banish you.
Okay. Could we ask why?
The dwarf will lean in again and whisper something in his ear. You have clearly brought this corruption with you. You are the source of the evil. The drow that are with you are the source of this evil. But because of your service to my city, I will not have you thrown in the sacred pool. I will allow you to leave.
Might we inquire as to
he will look up at her and smile. She'll smile back.
Forgive me, my majesty, highness, but who is this companion? I fear we haven't been introduced.
This is my companion Charles, my most prized advisor and companion. And she will bow very slightly, and you hear the sheer volume of gold coins on this dress jingle. It is the first piece of clothing you've seen in Gracklstugh, other than what is worn by foreigners, that is actually, it's beautiful. It's insanely beautiful and insanely expensive.
Above table, I now regret not having heat metal.
I concur.
You appear very fine. Where might you be from? You don't appear to be from these parts yourself.
She just stays quiet.
Said he's looking at her very suspiciously. Ambrose is sniffing.
Ambrose, roll a DC 15 wisdom check, please. I will send you a message.
And I stare at her intently and try to figure out if she is exactly entirely normal. Because as it stands, Droden is looking at this situation and going, it's not quite right. It feels very suspicious.
All the other, everyone that we've passed on the way in, what race have they been?
You didn't pass anybody other than that one woman.
Yeah, and then there's the other person in here.
Yeah.
My lord, I do apologise for the intrusion, and I am sure that you have many capable people at your service, and if you were to use means to make sure that we are telling the truth, magical means, of course, then you'll see that we mean you no harm, and that we did not bring this corruption with us.
Don't care. The corruption arrived with you. It leaves with you. You have 4 hours to vacate my city.
His Majesty Highness has a point. I think we might have done. It might have been a bit unkind in here. We probably need to leave.
And can I roll something? Because I want.
What do you want to roll?
I want to roll like a perception or something, purely just to see if
Okay.
there is anything unnatural about the mountain dwarf woman who is whispering into the king's ear.
Give me a perception.
I'm going to roll like absolute dog shit.
Mm-hmm.
I did.
No, she seems quite charming. She doesn't seem to want to speak before the king. She's speaking to the king, but she is not saying anything out loud.
Do I think that if I start to cast a spell, I'm in shit? Or do I think that if I time it to when Drodin's asking a question and has their attention...
I'll let you do either a deception or a sleight of hand if you want to cast a spell on the sly. But yeah, I mean, casting a spell in a king's hall, yeah, it does feel a bit dodgy.
Yeah, I'm aware. What was... Oh, not good.
Okay, what spell are you casting?
I'm going to try Calm Emotions because it worked in Slibly when we were trying to stop the sacrifice, and this feels like we're about to get killed.
Who are you casting it on?
It's a 20-foot sphere, so I'm going to drop it on those two. And if I can get the other guy... it doesn't matter if I calm emotions on Rain. To do that, I'll go for there. So it's
got hearts in it. Look.
Oh, that's adorable.
It is rather cute. Yeah,
the lava is shiny.
I'm quite a fan.
Okay, calm emotions. Right, everyone in that. Does it affect everyone, or can you choose for it not to affect friendlies? Calm emotions.
I think you can.
Group of people, each humanoid in a 20-foot radius sphere, and from a point you choose within arrangements, make a charisma saving throw. They can choose to fail it if they wish, but yeah, it doesn't say you choose. But I would want to.
So
if there's any kind of charmed effect, I want to.
Okay, charisma saving throw then for anyone that's in that circle. So it'll be so Serge is outside it. Tink, Rain, the King, the Guard. Where's it? Charisma saving throw.
Drodin's probably got a foot in. I don't know if that would count.
If you're in the circle, I would say yes.
He's on the cusp of it.
Did someone roll? Oh no, we're back in.
Get kicked out.
No, that was my fault. I accidentally clicked on bookmark.
Okay, Rain is good. You see the king kind of blink for a second. Look around. What the?
My lord, I promise we did not bring this corruption with us.
Who are you?
My lord, are you okay?
What? Who are you? Why are you here?
Oh, we're adventurers. We've been working for the city. We came here on your request, and it seemed that on the guidance of your advisor, without any evidence, you were going to banish us.
Sorry. Carry on. No, you carry on. You were saying.
I just wanted to look at the other guard and
you see the dwarf start to fade. The other guard failed abysmally, and he's just kind of like, just like looks quite relaxed and chilled out. Doesn't really seem to be paying that much attention. But as this happens, the king is confused. You see the dwarf seems to just suddenly start to fade and almost like looks like mist. and she fades from view, just disappears, just gone. And in a split second, as the shape turns to shadow, you think you see a pair of wings, and then she's gone.
Malice, I think we've impinged on His Majesty Highness long enough. We need to leave now. We need to go.
No, I feel that what we very much need to do is stay and figure out what is going on.
What is going on?
My lord, I to be completely truthful with you, and I do apologise for this, but I've just cast a spell that allows for any charmed effects to be interrupted, only for a short time.
You're saying I am under a beguilement?
I believe so, and as your advisor has just left, as the charm was broken, I am concerned that they might have something to do with it. I do not ask that you just take my word for it, but I'm sure that you have other advisors, but you need to call them very, very quickly to be able to investigate this before my spell ends and maybe their charm is brought back.
Malice, how dare you?
Sadie, shut up!
I'm so sorry, Your Majesty Highness.
You're confusing me. What is going on? You're saying the drow charmed me?
No.
No, I'm not capable of such a thing.
No, the other drow, the female one.
No.
Sadie, you're supposed to be on our side.
We're being very rude. We need to leave. Please.
This isn't about politeness.
You're embarrassing me.
Didn't think you were so stupid.
A number of the Duergar appear, just like point out of thin air, and you see them start to form up a little bit. They're not attacking, but they are looking suspicious. And you also hear heavy boots moving along the sides of this room towards you. And again, then you hear them stop. You hear the sounds of armor clinking, and then nothing. You'll need to explain quickly. I don't know who you are or why you are here.
You called us here. You were going to have us banished, even though we've done nothing but help Gracklstugh. I cast a spell because something did not seem right. The spell was only to calm you. It seems to have done so and have ended some kind of charm that was on you.
It seems that your advisor was poisoning your mind to some degree and manipulating you.
Drodin!
How long has this been? Because when this spell ends, any suppressed effect resumes, provided that its duration has not expired in the meantime.
What's the duration of it?
1 minute. So that's why I was rushing the.
Yeah, it seems to. It seems to be wearing off. Well, it's about to wear off.
But I've tried to give the very quick story as quickly as possible with witnesses, so that they'll see the change from.
Yes.
Please.
What would you like to do? What would everyone like to do?
I'm going to slap Serdi.
As I notice Malice rushing and seeing that the spell will probably run out soon, can I address the king and say, is there something you could tell us that we could say to you when you were under the charmed effect that could show you that what we're saying is true and snap you out of it?
You have 4 hours to leave my city.
Okay.
Go now.
Please, everyone, we should leave. Do as the King Majesty
Sir,
says.
Serdi, have you not just noticed the change in him?
What change? We're being so... This is... I'm so ashamed. I'm sorry, Your Majesty Highness.
I know you are, little kobold. Leave. 4 hours.
How far away are the guards from? Well, no one can see how. What? Do they look like they're about to attack?
No, but they are shields up, weapons out. They're just waiting for the order now.
Malice, Melis, I think for the time being, it is perhaps best that we do leave. There are other people we can talk to about such a thing in the time we have remaining.
You see some of the doors. Your Majesty, do you wish us to throw them in the pool? No, they have 4 hours to leave the city.
Drodin, I can try again.
Yes, but we're not in the best situation here for when it fails, for when it wears off a second time.
No, but if those guards see, then maybe they can help in convincing him. And I'll start backing off slightly.
Okay. We can leave it there till next week.
We have run over ever so slightly.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry for running over, guys. Is it going to kick off? Is it not?
If anything's going to happen, I'm going to beat the shit out of Serdi.
Poor Serdi.
Can we throw Serdi in the sacred pool?
No!
He was the one that started the suspicion. And then suddenly changed his mind. Oh.
Okay, it turns out Serdi's the big bad.
The big bad of the scene, at least.
Yeah. It's not Durandal, it's not Stool. No Dick Ford.
Okay.
Yeah, fun. So, yeah, I will reluctantly support Malice trying again. But my initial idea is we should probably just leave and then we can go and talk to Captain Blackskull and be like, yeah, so the king's being charmed. Can you help us deal with this?
I wonder if maybe Stonespeaker Hagram would be
also a good choice, yes.
Because they're aware of the kind of controls that can be had.
I suspect I know what's doing the charming, but I think Drodin's going to have to research it first.
Serdi's very apologetically bowing and backing away from the throne.
Okay.
Just went.
At this rate, we're going to hit level 5 before we've had a long rest.
Yeah.
Are we not level 5 already?
No, you're level 5 already, but
we'll hit level 6 before we've had a long rest.
This is all one day.
It's not because I've got once I get my level 3 spells, I've got remove curse, and I was thinking, oh damn it, I wish I had that right now.
No, the fireball would come in very handy right now. Get all those pesky Duergar we can't see.
Detonate, Tink. Detonate. She's not tempted.
Well, I would like to continue living for the time being. So.
Imagine if you gave that ability to Jim.
I don't have
Wander
a
off somewhere and go, okay, bang.
I know. Jim doesn't know about all the downsides, though, does he?
I don't think he'd care.
No, you're right. He'd just scream stuff over.
You give me
I
that
don't
big red
to
button.
an extent. I just want to see it once.
Yeah.
You give me that big red button, that urge is always going to be there. Just
It is a big red button, literally a big red button inside your chest.
Oh no, you gave someone a button not to press. That's
I did.
That's
I
not
did.
right.
I know it's a bit mean, but had to be done.
But yes, I would like to continue living. Drodin is the only D&D character I don't have a backup for.
Oh wow, okay. Drodin's the one that goes down the most as well. Because he's
I know it's ridiculous. He's the one I should have a backup for.
Maybe that's just a sign that you don't want to.
Stop suggesting people's fun. We're not a Monty Python movie.
Just because upholders can be used to refer to funeral directors.
But it also could be upholstery. Well, that's what I think of.
But
The
it's also
uphold-
well, so it's funeral directors, but it's also the idea of upholding a cause.
Yeah.
So it works for Tom's thing. Maybe not calling it the People's Front, but
Splitters.
Splitters. The fuck?
Oh dear.
and wouldn't upholstery would be the upholsters, wouldn't it? Not upholders.
Oh yes, that's true.
Upholsterers.
The upholsterer's front. Yes.
And it kind of sounds like beholder, upholder, beholder, and that just seems. It's my favourite one so far.
Yeah.
And yes, I have a big list of things to do with death for this character, just in case.
Well, yeah. If you have a think of a name, it feels level 5 feels like it's probably about right for your characters to sort of have a name for the group. Maybe.
It was that difficult spot you get put in at some point in the campaign. What are you all called together?
Yeah, I was like, oh, now
I never thought about it until now. Oh no! Oh no!
You're
What are we
meeting a
called?
king. You're meeting a king. I've got to do it right.
Yeah.
When we have the name, we can change all the YouTube videos from Out of the Abyss to blah blah blah, if we so choose. But that's a ways away. Also, I continue. We shouldn't be Jordan's ex-girlfriends, because that just sounds weird.
Yeah. I mean, it would be mean, which would make it funny. But
yes, but also there would be so many situations going. So you're all exes of his, and they're like, no, they're just taking the piss. It's like, it's a strange way to take the piss.
It is. Okay.
It's been a long day, guys. I'll see you
Yeah.
tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah. See you tomorrow, mate. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. I'm
Cheers,
gonna end the
Dave.
stream
Bye.
as well. I've lost the chat, so sorry. I don't know if Dave is still with us. If you are, buddy, thanks so much for stopping by. Anyone else that's watching, thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye,
See you
everyone.
next week. We'll see if it all goes horribly wrong. Probably will. But
Yeah,
in a fun
absolutely
way.
will.
Bye.
We're all in a terrible state.